Before Yellowstone, Kevin Costner starred in another Western series with Bill Paxton. For whatever reason, folks in the film and TV industry seem inclined to hand Kevin Costner a 10-gallon hat and stick him on a horse. Okay, if we're being real, it's often the Dances with Wolves filmmaker who casts himself to play cowboy, as was also the case when he starred in his own feature-length directorial efforts, Open Range and Horizon, and American Saga Chapter 1. You can actually trace the Yellowstone Veterans Association with the Western genre to the early days of his career when he starred in Lawrence Kasdan's Oscar-nominated 1985 Odin, Silverado. The duo's reunion almost a decade later on Wyatt Earp didn't fare as well by comparison, although Costner has always defended the 3-hour epic. Funnily enough, Kasdan's 1994 feature, which also made the ill-advised move of arriving barely 6 months after George P. Cosmato's gunslinging, Wyatt Earp-centric classics Tombstone hit theaters, isn't even Costner's longest sojourn into the Old West. That would be Hatfields and McCoys, the 3-part 2012 History Channel miniseries that reunited Costner with his Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and Waterworld helmsman Kevin Reynolds. In addition to being the project that finally got Reynolds out of director's jail after 2000 SAXS, Tristan and Isolde, a period piece that flopped despite having Sir Ridley Scott's name prominently attached as a producer, the dramatization of the infamous Hatfield-McCoy feud also saw Costner squaring off against another actor who just looks and sounds right in a cowboy hat, the late, great Bill Paxton. Hatfields and McCoys pit Costner against Paxton in a ratings bonanza. Ironically, having become a Western staple, Costner himself was born in the inner city, in Compton, California, as he explained to Collider while promoting Hatfields and McCoys in a 2012 interview. According to the Oscar winner, you can draw a straight line between his own personal love of the genre and his experience watching Jimmy Stewart in a canoe in John Ford, Henry Hathaway, and George Marshall's sweeping 1962 Western, How the West Was Won, when he was only 7 years old. This, in turn, fed into his love of U.S. history, which is why he knew all about the bloody, vicious, years-long conflict between the Hatfields and McCoys well before signing on for Reynolds' miniseries. The actor only continued to research the events that led to William Anderson Devalance, Hatfield, and Randall McCoy, who were played by Costner and Paxton in Hatfields and McCoys, and their respective clans going from dear friends to bitter enemies starting near the conclusion of the U.S. Civil War upon joining the show. Based on his reading, Costner attributed this more to intergenerational trauma and the incredible anger in the aftermath of the war than a grudge between the Hatfield and McCoy patriarchs. You can probably trust the man to know what he's talking about, too, given his meticulous preparation for the role. That extended to selecting the right hat for Devalance, a process that Costner assured Collider was a very big deal. Critics were relatively complimentary of Hatfields and McCoys, which Costner also produced, though they felt it was a bit too jaw-clenched for its own good. Willa Paskin, writing for Salon, was very much in agreement with this sentiment, writing, "It's got law and lawlessness, duking it out against a backdrop of grime, guts and gravelly voices, but this is all served up humorlessly and laden with self-seriousness." Be that as it may, viewers turned out in huge numbers to see Costner and Paxton kick dirt in each other's face, with the miniseries premiere becoming the most-watched non-sports telecast in ad-backed cable history at the time and handily setting a record for the History Channel.